All right, you guys, we thank you all for tuning in to Neilville. Welcome back. If you all seen the video on the tomatoes that we planted in the bucket, so that's what we're doing. We're gardening in a bucket. This, like I said before, this is our first time ever gardening. So what we did, we went on YouTube, saw a lot of videos. I call it YouTube University. Went on there, kind of studied it for about 2 weeks. I think I looked at every garden video that was on YouTube. Not one of them is the same. So you basically kind of doing whatever you feel works for you. And I guess you learn that over time, but you kind of take the basics of what you learn and put it together. And so that's what we did. So now we are getting ready to plant 2 pepper plants in 5-gallon buckets. And the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have a bucket. This is a number 2 HDPE, meaning that food can be placed in here. You don't want to use a bucket that had chemicals or anything like that, because that's a different type of plastic. And what'll happen is the plastic will seep into the soil and harm your plant. So you have to make sure that you have a bucket that is safe, preferably one that has been holding food or meal or something like that that is actually safe for food. And what we did, we drilled holes in the bucket. You've seen that in our last tomato video. We drilled holes in our bucket. There's no really specific way. Some people put holes up here about 1 inch off the bucket to have another also drainage system. So that's the next step. And then as far as our soil mix, now different people tell you different soils, different amounts, different things like that. So this is what one of the things that I kind of like. I got the potting soil. Pick up that potting soil bag, Christopher. And it's Miracle-Gro Moisture Control. It helps prevent over and under watering. So we did 6 parts of the Miracle-Gro potting soil mixture. You can put that down. Put that back over there. And then we also did 2 parts, 6 parts of that, 2 parts of the compost and manure. 2 parts of compost and manure. And we did 2 parts of peat moss, which is this big bag right here. It's kind of heavy, but you can look it up. It's peat moss, and 6, 2, and 2. And I think that is going to work good for your tomatoes and your peppers that you are planting in a bucket. So we already made this up when we did our tomato plant. So now we're just going to go ahead and start filling our 2 buckets up for our 2 different pepper plants. And once we get those filled up, we'll be right back. Okay, guys, I wanted to say before we fill these buckets up, we also added into your bucket about 1 inch full of mulch. And the reason we're doing that, especially with peppers, is because peppers do not like standing water. So this will help not to have drainage, not to have standing water. Like if it rains or something and you can't bring your peppers in the house, you may not be home or something, but this will help not clog those holes that you made at the bottom. So we put about 1 inch of mulch at the bottom of each one, and now we are getting ready to fill those. So we'll be right back. All right, you guys, so we are back. We have filled both of our buckets. We added our mulch to the bottom. Also, what I forgot to tell you was I did add in some perlite to that mixture. Even though the Miracle-Gro potting soil has perlite in it, I did add a little bit more. The next thing you want to do for your peppers is the same step that you want to do for your tomatoes to stop the root rot. And that's to add in some of the Epsom salt to the bottom. And you don't want that directly on your plant, so you just kind of work that in the bottom because you don't want it to burn your roots. You do the same thing over here. The next thing you want to add is garden lime. Give me about two handfuls of that, Christopher, in both of these buckets.
It's like slippery.
Your little hands, give me 3. And this is, the garden lime adds calcium. Your plants need calcium. It needs calcium, and it also needs nitrate. And we do have bone meal that we're going to add for the nitrate. All right. Yeah. Make sure that this is mixed in real good, guys. Because this help fertilize your plant, help give you a good and nice harvest. All I know is all the money I spent on this stuff, I better get something coming up. That's all I know. Let me show you the 2 types of peppers I'll be planting. One is Cajun bell, spicy bell pepper, and the other one is Bonnie green sweet pepper. Now, next what we want to do is make a hole with our plant. What you want to do is squeeze it and then turn it, pat it a little bit, and it should come out between your 2 fingers. This one doesn't have a lot of roots, but once it gets into this soil, it should do well. And so what we want to do is take off a couple of these leaves at the bottom. The pepper plant is very fragile. I do have a wire to put in here for the pepper plant. And what I'm doing, removing some of the leaves, and then we're just going to get this plant in this soil. What we want to do at this time is add our bone meal. And we're just going to go into a circular motion. And this bone meal is going to add calcium that this plant is going to need to thrive. So you kind of tap it. Yeah. All right, good. Now, if y'all can see, hold that up. Hold that up to them so they can see the different root system with this one than this one. Now this one has a way better root system, so that's a good thing. So we're going to get that plant. Just turn it around and stick it in.
Oh, I messed up.
No, it's okay. It's okay because the other one did that. Let me over here. Let me do that. The soil just kind of fell apart in it, and that's okay. Okay. We're going to tear off these bottom leaves at the bottom. And what we want to do now is basically just compact the dirt around it. All right, so now we have our pepper in. We're going to add our bone meal. And this is our Bonnie green pepper. Let me stick that in there. And this is our Cajun bell pepper. And so now we're going to add our bone meal around this plant. And what we want to do right now, we want to add a little bit of water. All right, you guys, so now we have both of our pepper plants done and completed, and we put mulch around them to help keep in the moisture. This is another thing I wanted to show you all. This is called vegetable tomato, and this is going to help feed your peppers, your tomatoes. Every 2 weeks, you might want to come out and put some, because all plants need food, and so this is going to be the food to help you get good ripe plants, good ripe fruit off of your plants. The one thing I wanted to say about bucket gardening, if you don't have a lot of space, like for me, like we live in an apartment, so we don't have a lot of space, so bucket gardening was, you know, the way to go for us. You just want to make sure that you keep it watered. Christopher, he's going to be our water boy, to water, make sure our plants are watered every morning. Hand me those 2 cages, I mean. So I purchased 2 cages for my pepper plants because they can grow wild and sometimes they need stability. You just set them in, jig them on inside there, and so this will help as they grow to have the support that they need. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have another bucket plant we're going to do, and this time we're going to do carrots. Carrots is a little more different than peppers and tomatoes. Peppers and tomatoes are kind of the same. Sorry about that in the background. Peppers and tomatoes are kind of the same in the fact that they can basically use the same type of soil, the same nutrients. Carrots are a little different, so we'll be back to discuss carrots. Stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit like, subscribe, your notification button, and you have a blessed weekend and happy Mother's Day.